Hey y'all, I'm Miss Katie with Heritage Ways. I'm really glad y'all were here today with me here on Project 54, episode 36, Southern Classics this week. So I'm bringing you Southern country sausage gravy, Southern sausage gravy, just country style. I do have another video here on YouTube where I'm demonstrating, and it is it's the go-to that my adult sons use when they're at their houses making sausage gravy. I hope you'll stay tuned, and I hope you will learn to make lump-free every time Southern sausage gravy. It's so good, y'all. Thanks for being here. Some recipes that I hesitate to share. I kind of don't even want to share, and it has nothing to do with not wanting to share itself. Everything to do with I don't know the measurements because I just kind of do it. I kind of make it. Southern cooks do that. Country cooks do that. I'm sure cooks worldwide do that. You just kind of create it. You don't know the measurements. How many times have you asked Aunt Myrtle or Granny or Mama or somebody, please write down that recipe, and she says, I have no idea what the measurements are. Well, okay. That's how I am pretty much about sausage gravy. But if I do say so myself, I make good sausage gravy. It is tasty, and it has never had a lump in it since I started doing this one secret, and I'm going to share that with you today. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You're obviously going to need sausage. So get whatever kind of sausage. I've got like store-made right here from the local IGA. Whatever kind of sausage. Homemade sausage, whatever kind of sausage you like. Hot, mild, what have you. Half a pound of sausage. Let me say right now, you can double this recipe. Okay, you can double the amounts. Also, you can use a whole pound of sausage in the amounts, the recipe that I'm giving you today. But I use a half a pound primarily because I am cheap when it comes to using meat like this. I'm frugal. I found that half a pound works great. I found that, in my personal opinion, 1 pound is a whole lot of meat. Way too much, in my opinion. If you're used to the sausage gravies that are served in restaurants, I mean, they have virtually no meat compared to even using a half a pound in what I'm about to show you. If your family likes it meaty and you can afford it, or you have the meat available, you can use 3/4 a pound or a pound. But a more traditional gravy is going to have not probably that much meat. Gravy is something that Southerners, and I guess people, I'm more accustomed to Southern food, having born and raised in Tennessee, but it's a way to make meat stretch, and so that's what we're doing. Okay, now here's my tip that I told you about. Cold cast iron. If you don't have cast iron, well, I guess you can use, another kind of skillet or what have you. All right, cold cast iron is my tip. And I'm putting the half a pound of meat, if I can get it off the plate there, okay? Half a pound of meat, half a stick of butter. Drop it on in there. Now, I want to tell you, I use this meat masher thing that I think is awesome. This particular one's from Pampered Chef, but I just acquired this last year. So for years, I have used a whisk and a wooden spoon, and I'll be using the wooden spoon here in a little bit. But you can't beat cast iron and a wooden spoon with a great big stick, I tell you. All right, I'm really just mashing this up just a little bit because the butter is not softened yet. And I'm putting in the cold pan about a half a cup of flour. Actually, a tiny bit more than a half a cup. Basic, general, all-purpose, this is unbleached flour. Now, your trick is you're going to go over here to the stove, and you're going to kind of mash all this together. You don't want this is not something you walk away from. You pay attention to it. You don't want your flour to burn. So the butter is adding just a little bit more grease. But if you had the whole pound of sausage, I wouldn't think you'd need the butter. So let's go over here to the stove. And by the way, I will, on this particular video, write the measurements down below. I don't typically do that on Project 54 videos, but I will do that today. Because, like I said, I'm kind of still just making it as I go, and I am taking note of the measurements while I'm making it for y'all today.
It's time for another table tip. Let's not forget to always thank the cook.
Okay, now because this is, I'm standing here with it, I'm going to turn it between high and medium. This is not something I'm going to walk away from for more than, a few seconds or whatever. You can also use bacon grease or lard instead of the butter if you wanted to. The bottom of my cast iron is not, it's kind of bowed, unfortunately, so you might notice that as I'm cooking. But what's going to happen is this butter's going to start melting. The grease from the sausage is going to start to render, and that is going to be combined with the flour as I go. So that's what's happening. See, it's already melting. And my purpose here is just to keep the flour from burning, keep it moving, and it will all mix up well. If you add the flour, lumps come because of adding the cold milk and flour mixture, maybe not shaken up very well or something, onto the hot grease. There may be cooks out there who don't do it this way, and that's absolutely fine, of course. But I can tell you that, I'm not bragging, but I don't have lumps in my gravy. Okay, this is starting to melt. This is a big cast iron. I think this is 10 inches. This is one that my uncle gave to my mama when she married my daddy as a wedding gift. Can't think of a better wedding gift than cast iron. You can refrigerate this. You can warm it up later very slowly on the stovetop. I don't have a microwave, so I'm not going to recommend that. I don't have it for health reasons. Okay, now your gravy, your meat's going to start cooking now. Actually, I'm going to go back over to this tool. You can put your salt and pepper at whatever point you want to. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to say 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. A few turns of the pepper mill. You can also put a pinch of cayenne in it if you want. Or if you have hot sausage, you don't have to do that. And just use the back of the spoon, keep it moving, and get that meat. So you can't see the flour now. Nothing's burning. I still have it between medium and high on a gas stove. I don't like huge clumps of meat. So I try to mash it up real well. Plus it disperses the meat a little better if I do that. Now your meat is not going to be a dark brown when it's done because it is mixed with that flour. But it's not going to be pink. Unless there's a brand of sausage out there. We can't find it up here where we live. But we always, Mr. Patient and I loved it in Tennessee. It's called Mayo's Smoked Sausage. MAYO''S. If y'all can get your hands on that, oh, that stuff is delicious. And it comes in a, since it's real live smoked, it comes in a bag, like a linen bag, cloth bag, at the store, and then they wrap it in plastic. So you take off the plastic and then you take it out of the bag. And that is not, it's gonna stay pink because it just is. That's the nature of it, even if it's cooked, when it's cooked. That stuff's delicious. If you find that, then let me know. If you use that, let me know. I urge you to look for it in the South. I want to say who it's put out by, but I'm not for sure. I want to say Elm Hill, and I may be completely wrong. This is almost cooked. Little light brownish, non-pink pieces. I'm going to turn it down to in between low and medium, or a little bit past medium, towards low. Okay? And then I'm just going to slowly whisk some milk in there. I'm going to stir, whisk while I'm going. Get some good milk. Use good milk. Whatever you deem good milk, but try not to skimp on your milk for whatever purpose. Okay, going back up to medium here. And now we're just cooking it. Just going to leave it on medium, and we're going to cook it until it starts. It's going to get hot. It's going to bubble a little bit, kind of simmer. And I'm going to keep whisking. And then I'm going to realize I need some more milk here in a minute. I'm going to add a little bit as I go until I have the consistency that I want. It's already thickening, I can tell. You can eat this on mashed potatoes. You can eat it on biscuits. You can eat it on toast. Frozen biscuits, homemade biscuits, store-bought biscuits. Day-old biscuits. I don't know. What do you eat it on? Cornbread? Noodles? Rice? By itself? With a spoon? Okay. Now, here's, you can see it's thick. And I can tell you right now, I'm going to need some more milk. This will very slightly thicken a little more once you turn it off. Or especially if you're planning on refrigerating it and heating it up another time, it's going to thicken. So plan on that. Okay, now at this point, you probably want to turn it down a little bit. You're in danger of burning it if you don't. Quite honestly, if you had little bits of ham or some ground ham, or you could use hamburger meat. You could use, I've used bacon before to make gravy like this if you don't have pork or don't eat pork. Venison, elk. I mean, you can make sausage from any of those. I was going to try it in a bowl, but hey, I'm just going to try it like this. No bowl. It's great. It is great. Yum. Can I double dip? Oh, that is seasoned just fine. That is good. Southern country sausage gravy. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for being here today. That's good. That's good.